वो नोटिफिकेशन ऑफ करने पड़ेंगे टेलीग्राम के. Stay in the call. Yeah, hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to another live stream. Thank you so much. गोवा वाली वीडियो पे तो तूफान लगा दिया. But yeah, today we are going to do something more rigorous, more lengthy. So मैंने सबको 10 बजे का टाइम दिया. मैं थोड़ा YouTube पे जल्दी आ गया हूँ. To see you guys. So idea is कि audio confirmation check from the tech team. Let's go. So idea है यार, मैं अपने सारे आंसर यहाँ पे बताने वाला हूँ कि क्या आंसर होने वाले हैं. फिर वो आंसरों को यश फ्रॉम IIM अहमदाबाद विल बी रिव्यूइंग इट एंड विल बी गिविंग अस फीडबैक ऑन द पॉइंट. और अभी हम आंसर फ्रेम करने वाले हैं बहुत सारे. तो बहुत सारे आंसर्स फ्रेम होने वाले हैं. सो बी इन द पार्ट ऑफ द स्ट्रीम. पता नहीं कितने लोगों को नोटिफिकेशन गई होगी या नहीं, क्योंकि अभी तुम सब लोगों ने मेरे को सब्सक्राइब किया है. सो आई हैव नो क्लू कि कितने सब्सक्राइबर्स अभी हमारे स्ट्रीम पे ज्वाइन करेंगे, बट आई एम श्योर दैट वी विल बी हैविंग अ लॉट ऑफ फन. सो राइट नाउ द टाइम इज 9:56. तो 4 मिनट में सब आ जाएंगे. तब तक तुम लोग कमेंट सेक्शन में अपनी बातचीत कर लेते हैं थोड़ी, और क्या. So right now the scene is we have so many interviews lined up, from SP Jain to IIM Shillong to XLRI to IMT Ghaziabad. So बहुत हेक्टिक मंथ होने वाला है along with my job, क्योंकि छुट्टियां नहीं मिलेंगी पूरे महीने की. ऑलरेडी मैं कैट के टाइम पर अच्छी खासी 15-20 दिन की छुट्टी ले लिया था. But let's see, we will give our best, try to convert all the calls. Already GIM convert हो चुका है. Yes, GIM has been already converted, but yeah, they will roll out mail soon, and उसके बाद जाके हम confirmation देंगे कि हमें join करना है या नहीं. And यार इंटरनेट अच्छा चल रहा है. सिर्फ 6 Mbps, nice speed. Yes, nice speed. Audio is I guess fine है. थोड़ा और बढ़ाना है तो बता देना, but I don't feel like कि ज़रूरत पड़ेगा इतना. ये कैटेगरी एजुकेशन में क्यों डाल दी मैंने? एजुकेशन में नहीं डालना था भाई. Give me a second. 2 lakhs, let's go. 2 लाख में मजा आता है भाई. इतने दिनों बाद लाइव आ रहा हूँ. करो करो करो. Why the category is education? ठीक है, मतलब I like to stream more in people and blog section rather than education. भाई ऑलरेडी बहुत लोग बैठे हैं वहाँ पे. ओ हाँ, एक सेकंड गाइस. मेरे ख्याल से आई हैव मिस्ड वन थिंग. पर टैग्स डालना भूल गया वीडियो पे. हाँ, टैग्स टैग्स टैग्स, ये रहा टैग्स. Oh, Rushali is here. Give me tags for the video. In
Hey, hi, Abhishek.
hi, how are you?
Wait, I can't hear you. Say something.
Hello, I'm audible.
Nope,
Oh shit,
can't hear
I'm
you.
on mute. I'm on mute. My bad.
Okay. Wait, let me change. I'm logging in with my friend's account. So
Yeah,
let me
yeah.
change my name.
We
Otherwise,
know Rushali from the last
yes, but
stream.
like,
Yeah, it's
it
fine.
will be a
We
little
have a time.
confusing for people to hear a guy's voice and then see Vishali's face.
It's fine. It's fine.
And you know what? Just give me a couple of minutes. I'll rejoin.
Sure, sure. No issues. Hi, Ankur. Welcome to the stream. ओए, मेरा हिल कैसे गया खुद ब खुद? ओए, और सही है. I have to reframe myself, I guess. थोड़ा ज़्यादा ये, अरे मुश्किल से सेट हुआ था भाई. क्यों कर रहा है? अरे ये क्या मजे ले रहा है मेरे? क्या सीन है भाई? यश इज हियर, लेट्स गो.
Hey, hi. Am I
Sorted.
audible?
Yeah, you
Okay,
are.
cool. चलो, let's start.
I guess I can start. जो आना होगा they can join.
हाँ, that's okay.
ठीक है ना?
Anyways, this was supposed to be a one-to-one each.
हाँ, but I felt like कि सबका साथ
Yeah,
सबका विकास.
fair enough. But Abhishek, tell me something.
Hmm.
Since you'll be sharing your screen, are
Yeah,
you comfortable sharing your HRQs with everyone?
yeah, it's fine. मेरा तो
No,
सब
not
वैसे
from a
म्यूट है.
competitive point of view, yeah, but like a lot of these questions are personal. Like, what are the three things you regret in life? What are the three things you love about you?
That
You get
is
it, right?
not there, I guess.
Okay.
And एक मिनट. Most of these are most of like your base level questions जो हर इंटरव्यू पूछता है.
Huh, fair. As long as you don't mind it, see again, I don't have a problem.
Yeah, yeah. My camera. हाँ. So वही ना, so there is a video on my दूसरा channel which is about who is Techno Abhishek.
Okay.
So I feel like that video has more information about my life rather than this interview questions.
Fair.
Uh, is my screen visible?
Yep.
Yeah. So these are my TMAY के answer.
Wait, you'll have to help me with the jargon a little. I don't know what TMAY is.
TMAY is tell me about yourself. So
Okay.
okay. So वो नया term चल रहा है TMAY.
Fair. यार, it's been a while for me. But ठीक है.
So I
Uh,
guess I have shared once with you already,
Correct.
and this is a थोड़ा मैंने change किया था उसमें.
ठीक है. Let's see.
हाँ.
Good. Okay, the start is good. Like,
Hmm.
you sort of mentioned, you gave a brief, like, executive summary about yourself,
Yeah.
went back to the basics, where you're from, your 10th. Yes, chronology is important. So obviously, you can always give a executive summary of who you are as a person, but then standard practices you start with like where you did your schooling from, then post schooling where you went. So chronology it sits here. So after 10th, after completing 12th, moved to Mumbai. Okay. Yeah, fair. Okay, spoke about your internships. Okay. Post graduation, you started talking about work. Okay. Now, see, this is
Hmm.
where, so essentially, if you have to ask me for my intro,
Hmm.
I start with my name, where I'm from, my 10th, 12th, UG,
Hmm.
and post UG, I started working,
Hmm.
right? So I explain about my work, and post work, I immediately go to, apart from my professional life, in my personal life, what do I do? So this is a good segue. Let's just say after your fourth paragraph, post graduation wala paragraph ke baad,
Hmm.
it's a good segue for you to talk about what you do outside of work, outside
Hmm.
of professional life. So you can say something like on a personal front or like outside of professional life. I also am interested in, let's just say, playing a guitar, watching football, what your hobbies are.
Hmm.
Because when you're introducing yourself, the first three paragraphs, you're giving a lot of details,
Hmm.
but they also have that data from your form,
Yeah.
right? So at least where you did your schooling from, which city you're from, all this data is available to them. Whether they read it or not is a very different thing.
Hmm.
But here's where you get to say something interesting about you, because a lot of times a follow-up question comes from the last bit of your interview.
Hmm.
So in my case, in my I think Calcutta interview, I had mentioned in my hobby as YouTube.
Yeah.
Okay, and I
Hmm.
had mentioned it as a watching YouTube. So
अच्छा,
it's not even
not
a great hobby.
creating.
Exactly, not of creation. So they were so amused by it that you wouldn't believe my entire 35 minutes of interview was only about YouTube. I
Oh.
was not asked a single technical question. Calcutta is known to take abstract interviews, but I was not asked a single technical question. Nothing about, no HRQs, nothing about my work experience, only about YouTube. So, example, who's your favorite content creator? What strategy they use? If they have to go to a different stream, what would they do? So, all like MBA related questions, but solely based on my introduction. So, if you are good at something, that's a good segue to bring that here so that if a follow up question is asked, you can just drive your interview to your strengths.
So this line which say like after this Tinkle Comics, so there is a
Mhm.
point which say कि alongside my YouTube I continue to build my YouTube channel. So I guess this is fine or इसमें थोड़ा reframe करना
नहीं,
पड़ेगा.
so sort of bring it, like sort of differentiate it, like कि apart from my professional life or on my personal front, on a side note, you
Hmm.
get it, right? Alongside my job makes sense, but if you want to actually create an impact, यार पता है क्या, MBA में to be
Hmm.
very honest, action words work great, like work a lot. तुम किसी के भी, if you see like reviews online, even on CVs and all,
Hmm.
everybody would tell you to use action words,
Yeah.
and it might seem like a very generic advice, but since that's the norm, why not? ठीक
Got
है,
it.
so
So
create
alongside my
on,
job की जगह we need to figure out a word.
हाँ, on a personal front, I also like to do this. If you let's just say hypothetically, if anyone contributes to an NGO,
Hmm.
so on a side note, I also believe in giving back to the society, and I do so by like XYZ drives on a Sunday. That's a good way to switch from a, because abhi tak your answer is monotonous on your academic background, your work.
Work X.
So if you want to switch to a personal front, you can differentiate that ways.
Okay.
ठीक है. In the end, you have mentioned my upbringing in a humble family. Okay. ठीक है. So see, in the end, creating you, my hobbies include videography. Now that line becomes redundant if you just merge that with your, on your personal front. What do you do,
Got
right?
it.
So something like, otherwise good introduction.
Hmm.
60 to 75 seconds is a good intro per se.
Yeah. So this is 60 to 65 के range का ही है ये.
हाँ ठीक है.
हाँ.
No need to memorize, because if it's rehearsed, a lot of people would tell you to memorize your introduction.
I
But
didn't.
no, no, that's what, because if you are able to flawlessly deliver it, then it goes a long way. But if you're someone who is prone to, let's just say, getting stuck,
Hmm.
right? So then it looks very rehearsed. Ki, oh, you
Yeah.
learned something and came. And your introduction is something you're telling about yourself. It's supposed to be in a flow, right?
Because I have also noticed कि whenever you are like going in a real situation where you are giving an interview, your
Mm-hmm.
something change in every interview.
Correct, correct.
It's very common. कभी कभी मेरा
Huh.
पर्सनल फंड पहले आ जाता है और लाइक बिफोर माय यूट्यूब
That,
सीन माय फैमिली बैकग्राउंड्स केम.
correct.
सो देयर इज दैट तो होता है वो.
That is okay. ठीक
सो
है.
इसमें अभी क्या चेंज करने की ज़रूरत है? सो वी हैव चेंज ऑन अ पर्सनल फंड, वी हैव एडेड अ
हाँ
डिफरेंशिएटर वहाँ पे.
ठीक है. Otherwise, it looks like a good introduction, yeah, honestly speaking.
हम्म.
You sort of covered all the boxes. Because see, anyways, your intro doesn't end here. Like they'll obviously ask you HRQs. What are your strengths? They might ask you to do a SWOT analysis on yourself,
या.
which is right. They might just ask you what are the three challenges you have faced in your life so far. What are the three biggest achievements? So one popular question is, what was that one situation in which you had? I think you shared with that something question, like some similar question with me,
या
where you
या
had to motivate another employee.
एम्प्लॉय या.
So all these questions will be asked, especially if you are aiming for like XLRI, HR, or BM interviews,
हम्म.
because uh, as an HR, you will be put in such situations. So they will ask you all these HRQs.
एंड
But yeah,
मोस्टली
so far
एसपी
good
जैन
intro.
इज फेमस फॉर asking question out of your CV. There will be so much
Correct,
situation based questions.
correct.
Okay. So there is a question from HRSC for CSE guys. What question we can expect?
In an interview.
Yeah,
So
for
again,
MBA.
it depends on which college we're talking about per se, but in general, so I'm an electronics graduate, okay? But I was initially asked technical questions on electronics, starting from my first year. Ki what is Norton's theorem? What is Thevenin's theorem? This is done just to check ki how academically sound you are, or in your degree, how serious were you about academics. Okay. But at the same time, let's just say if you're a computer science grad, recently you would have seen like AI में DeepSeek आया.
Mhm.
So they would ask you anything relevant. Ki, oh, what is your thoughts on AI? What are your thoughts on AI taking jobs over? Anything relevant to your field can definitely be asked. Especially GK questions, especially will be asked. Because if something new is happening in your field in the world right now, expect a question on that. ठीक है? When it comes to technical, like the core interview for a CSE grad, obviously they won't make you code in an interview, is what my expectation is. ठीक है? If they do, I apologize, but they will ask you technical questions ki, like simple questions, because for me as an electronics student I was asked a lot on electronics, like on mobile communication. And usually in a lot of colleges they'll pair interviewers based, so you'll have interviewees paired with interviewers. So someone who's a subject matter expert, if you are a CSE grad, there's a high probability that your interviewer is also a CSE grad or
CSE.
understands computers, right? So in that case
Got
they might ask technical questions. It might so happen that you don't get asked technical questions at all,
at all.
right? So for example, hypothetically, if you're sitting for Excel or HR, where your coding skills are not that relevant, so then there's no point judging your coding skills, right? So in that case they might just ask you about a hypothetical situation where, for example, you knew that a code is incomplete or has vulnerabilities, but there was a time crunch and you were forced to submit it. Do you think it's ethical or not? So questions like this.
Yeah, Ramesh.
Yeah. Hi, Yash. Good
Hey, hi, what's up?
evening.
Good night.
Yeah, I'm fine. How are you doing?
All good, all good. Tell me what's up.
Okay, yeah. So I actually wanted to ask you a few questions. First is
Mm-hmm.
that I am selected for the SPJ IMR IM program.
Okay.
So I have like 26 months work experience. So
Okay.
and okay, now I actually have a pretty decent idea about my academics and AI, ML and everything. So do I
Mhm.
have to really get into the depth of how an algorithm works? Like since DeepSeek, OpenAI and everything is really trending nowadays. So like can they really get into the technicals?
See, again, the interview, as I said, is mostly driven by you. Okay. So, for example, my IIM Bangalore interview. So Bangalore mostly cares about work experience. Okay. So they kept asking me grilling questions on work experience. But after a point, they also realized that while going too technical, there were some areas which I was not able to answer. Okay. So they would stop. The interviewer would adapt to your answers. And just because you don't know something doesn't mean you're absolutely rejected. Rejection never happens on one or two questions. Okay?
Hmm.
Because let's just say if you're a computer science grad and you know how an entire AI algorithm works and you know how to create an AI model, you would not be looking for an MBA, right? You would want to
Yeah,
either
true.
look for a great job in AI or go for MS if
Hmm.
your tech inclination is that high. So they also understand that you are aiming for an MBA, which means one, you don't want to get into core tech, or your interests are something else. See,
Okay.
I'm not saying they wouldn't ask you, but even if they ask you and you cannot answer a super technical question, let's say if they ask you CNN, RNN, or of an architecture, right? Or a
Hmm.
method to train a neural network and you don't know it, that's still okay. You can always say, and in fact, this goes in your weakness. Like, so you can always rephrase if you don't know an answer. You can always say that, sir, I did not have an opportunity to check up on this or read up on this, but given time, I can assure you that I'll read up on it. Something like this, right?
Okay.
So you're admitting that you were not able to get into the depths of it yet, but you're willing to go, right?
Hmm.
You could say thank you for
Understood.
pointing out the gaps in my knowledge. I'm sure after this interview I'll go and read up on it.
Okay.
But if you are in any way in your CV or in your answers highlighting that you are an AI expert or you are interested in AI,
Hmm.
then you should know. You can't just say that I'm interested in Coldplay and not know the members of the band, right? That's not how
Okay,
it
right.
works. So if you are yourself mentioning that you are interested in XYZ, then the interviewer would expect you to have some knowledge of
Okay, understood.
it.
Also, you mentioned that they grilled you on work experience. So,
Yes.
okay, I know in and out everything about my work, but since
Mhm.
I'm working on the data analytics side, I actually don't know the textbook definition of like they ask few terms, right? What is data warehouse and
Correct.
list the cycle of data analytics. Like I don't know all these things, but I know the technicalities of my work in and out. So. am I expected to know all these definitions or should I go ahead and actually study? And also, which way did they grill you? I really want to
Yeah,
know
yeah.
that.
So, see, two things. One, it's always good to have that knowledge because you never know what. See, I'll give an example. Okay. Now you have, let's just say, X level of understanding on one subject. The interviewer
Hmm.
might have a very different understanding. Now, if he asks you something which is out of your like understanding, but is expected to know, like as a data scientist, let's just say data warehousing is a concept that everyone should know.
Hmm.
Up they asked you, and if you say that you don't know it, then it sort of indicates that, oh, okay, he was not thorough with his job, right? So it's good to know. If you have time, please prepare. There's a good chance they don't ask you at all, right?
Okay.
But the thing is, if you are working, then at some point you would have come across data warehousing in
Yeah,
very
like I
practical
can.
terms,
Yeah, in
right?
practical
So
terms, I can explain, but the textbook definition is something which I
nobody's expecting
don't
a
know.
textbook
Okay.
definition, okay? But they would
Okay.
expect that you know the concept, right?
Okay.
And as far as
Hmm.
my interview, so for example, I worked at Oracle in the financial domain. Okay, so I
Hmm.
used to create financial products for Oracle. Now they ask me questions on that, ki who are your clients and what value does your product add, and they immediately jump to, so Oracle ka competitor in this space is TCS Banks. There's a software called TCS Banks. They asked me,
Okay.
what do you know about TCS Banks, and I had no idea that TCS Banks exist.
Hmm.
Right. So this was one of the gaps they identified, that you don't know your own competitors. So if
Acha.
let's just say you work on a, you worked in a product company and you have your own product, know who your competitors are, know what you do better. I was asked questions like, I was given hypothetical situations that if you are in this and your team lead says to do something else or revise the code, would you? They grilled me on
Hmm.
small nuances of my day-to-day life. So one of the senior interviewers asked me what a day in my work life looks like. So I explained that morning I have this meeting, then I do this work. And then he would just ask me questions on this. So like explain anything in detail. Or if it's like something. So if you don't mind asking, which company are you working at?
I'm working at Accenture and my current client is Pfizer.
Okay, yeah, exactly. See, so you're working at Accenture in a consulting role?
No, not consulting, IT role, data
Okay.
analyst
Oh,
type
data
of.
analyst, right? Sorry, I
Hmm.
forgot. So in such cases, there's a very good chance that they ask you about Pfizer. I am not sure if you will reveal your client. You can always just say a pharma client. Okay? But
Actually,
they
yeah.
might,
Good,
exactly.
good.
So they might just ask you, ki, how does your software work? How do you ensure data integrity or data security? Right? Because you're
Yeah,
working
yeah.
with medicines,
Hmm.
right? In this space, ZS is your biggest competitor, right? Because ZS
Hmm.
also offers pharmaceutical consulting services to Pfizer. So they might
Hmm.
ask you the competitor landscape. And if by
Oh.
any chance your interviewer is a subject matter expert on pharmaceutical industry,
Uh,
he'll just ask you, what do you think the AI impact of AI will be on pharmaceutical industry? Or if government imposes a new tax, how do you think the industry will react? Very not extremely difficult questions, but depends on your work. So I was in the fin domain. I was asked a lot on budget,
okay.
right? I was asked a lot on ki if RBI introduces a new policy, how do you think your client will react? This has nothing to do with me. I was working on the
Hmm.
tech side of it, but they just asked to gauge. So
Hmm.
questions like this. And
Okay,
wherever I
understood.
couldn't answer, the interviewer adapted. Like if he understands he after level 3 I'm not able to answer, he wouldn't ask a level 4 question. He would move on to a different topic,
Hmm. I
right?
understood.
But
Yes,
even in
yes.
my GIM interview, they asked this question me on taxes. Uh, what type of industry will you choose if you want to make it zero tax free? So yeah, if you can answer all these type of questions from if you are from a different background, and you just outshine in the interview. And I
Yeah,
guess
yeah,
that was
absolutely.
the reason I got the spot offer then and there only. That I was able to talk about taxes, GST, finance and all, being from an arts background and differentiation बता के आगे था तो ज़्यादा ही खुश हो गए थे.
I see, cross-functional knowledge is always good. So you
Yeah.
mentioned you worked in Accenture, right? So if you also know what Accenture does in other departments, just a broad understanding, for example, what Accenture strategy works in, or what Accenture is doing in banking domain, it's an added advantage. Okay? Because Accenture
Hmm.
being a huge organization, I'm
Hmm.
sure the interviewer would have some or other exposure about the company,
True.
Yeah, yeah.
right? मेरे साथ ऐसा था
Hmm.
कि I worked in Oracle Financials. The interviewer knew someone who worked there. So he understood what the
Oh.
company does. So he asked me questions along those lines.
Hmm.
He asked me about sprints and everything. थोड़ा technical हो गया था interview because I led it to be a technical interview. I was confident in my I was confident that any question on my work ex I'll be able to answer, which proved
Okay.
out to be false because they asked me about competitor and I was not able to answer. But okay, so I led the interview in that direction. So it all depends on you.
Okay, understood. Actually, I'm just a developer, so on the Pfizer side of things, I'm not actually aware how what are their competitors, but I'm aware of Accenture competitors and stuff. So since you have mentioned, I will go ahead and also learn about the client's competitors.
थोड़ा बहुत whatever you can do. See, again, I understand there are 1,000 topics that you guys have to study. ठीक है? And interviews are extremely random. They might just not ask you anything about Accenture. हो सकता है कुछ और पूछ ले. So whatever you can do, please do. I would also recommend whatever colleges you guys have calls for, go through the interview transcript to at least understand ki what kind of questions they're
Questions
asking,
asked.
right? Because
Yes.
these interviews are again faculties, right? So
Hmm.
they also might have a limited bank of questions.
Understood.
Obviously, every interviewer will ask some questions of which are unique to them, but there are also repeated questions. So there's also patterns,
Understood.
right? So yeah,
Yes. Thank you. Answered my question.
no worries.
So yeah, let's move on to the next question, which is why MBA?
Okay, yeah. So the holy grail of all questions.
Chance, why you want to do an MBA?
So yeah, see this question right now. A lot of people, if you see on LinkedIn or everybody would say that this is the make or break question
Hmm,
because if you don't have a strong enough reason. So for example, in my profile, if I show you my CV or something, it looks too technical.
okay.
So I am a good fit for a MTech college as well. Okay. So I was asked this question, ki, yaar, with your profile, why don't go to MTech and why not do it from IIT Bombay? Why are you coming to IIM Ahmedabad? Right. So you should have a very strong reason and a convincible reason. Your reason can't be that, oh, I am interested in management or I want to be a manager. Right. There should be something that and only an MBA can help you achieve.
Got it.
If it's personal, it's the best thing ever. So I'll give you an example. I have a friend who had a startup. Okay.
Hmm,
I don't remember the details, but he was not able to scale it. He said ki, as of how I stand right now, I would not be able to scale this startup because I don't understand the nitty-gritties of how supply chain, operations, logistics work. And having an MBA would help me enhance my knowledge in these fields, and I'll be able to apply these to real world problems with my startup and scale it. So he showed that he wants to be an entrepreneur but doesn't know it, and an MBA will help him achieve that.
got
So necessarily doesn't have to be along those lines, but you have to show how MBA will be a value addition to your profile or to your career. Okay.
So yes, I am
That's
sharing my screen where you can see my answer there. Okay, can you
yeah,
read it?
yeah, 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 yeah. So
So just go
strong
through in one
foundation
side.
in social media. Mhm. Okay, so you have already shown an inclination to marketing.
Yeah,
Okay.
because I have a marketing call only from SPJ, so and eventually I
Oh,
want
fair,
to
fair.
go into marketing only. So
Understandable. Yeah, it's good that you mentioned peers because MBA is a lot about peer learning also.
so I mentioned peered in my content creation journey and how I can bring them on my channel and
Fair, fair.
because SP. So if you go to SPJ motto, it
Mhm.
is like sharing sociality, sharing learning, sharing responsibility. So I was already doing it. So some of that I have incorporated from their website and put it here, that how I am sharing
Right.
knowledge through my channel. And because a lot
So
of my interviews are driven on my content creation only, because that is what something new for the interviewer also. So a lot of
correct.
questions come. So I have tried कि हर आंसर में मैं थोड़ा थोड़ा content creation डालता हूँ, because it's been 7 years that I'm creating content.
No, no, absolutely. And it's good that you mentioned that, you want to learn more, like gain more insights of business fundamentals. That's for sure. Expect a questions on exactly what are you looking at. What do you mean? How will an MBA be able to contribute to this? So there's supposed to be a goal, ठीक है, behind this answer. So I'll give you an example. मेरा answer ये था. After 3 years of working at Oracle, I've realized that even though I know tech, even though I know coding, coding is not what gives me happiness. The true joy I get is from my interactions with my clients, and the joy I see when like anything, whatever I've done has created real life impact. And doing an MBA will help me with the pivot, like to pivot my shift towards management, right? So there was this goal. So a lot of people, MBA, why MBA should be one, to advance their careers, to gain new skills, as you've rightfully mentioned, to have networking opportunities, right?
Got it.
And last could also be changing careers. Someone who's working as a software developer in Infosys for the last 7 years or 6 years, if suddenly wants to become a consultant at Accenture, they can't. MBA is something which is mandatory for you to switch it to consulting, right? For a person like that. So a lot of times, why MBA is definitely has to be a very personal answer, because this is how you are showing them how much you want this conversion, right? This offer, how much you want that offer. So as
So
of now,
you said that there will be a follow-up question of what do I exactly expect from an MBA, right?
correct,
So if I say that for a marketing person, knowing different domains of company is very important, because that's how you will be changing your strategy on your GTM
correct,
strategy will keep on changing on the different business factors. So that's why I feel
correct.
like learning more about administration, business administration thing will help me in.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. So I'll give you another analogy here. In my IIM Bangalore interview, I said something same. Okay, I want to learn more of the subjects, and they asked me, "What subjects do you think will help you?" And do we offer them at IIM Ahmedabad? Sorry, IIM Bangalore.
Okay.
And I couldn't answer that question because I didn't do that due diligence of going through what
The
subjects IIM Bangalore
syllabus.
offers. And then I ended up saying like very common generic subjects like supply chain management, operation management. And they're like, but how will operation management help your profile? So if you're mentioning that an MBA will give you a deep understanding of business fundamentals, be ready with how.
Got
Okay.
it.
I would suggest add a little bit of personal flair to it. Like, doesn't have to be something great or something huge. You mentioned your YouTube channel, but see, this is like mentioning that you have an idea of a startup or something and you want to scale it,
I have an
right?
idea, but I'm scared to share it on the panel or not.
Why?
So my so I hadn't, so it this idea I haven't researched it a lot कि ऐसा कोई market में product है या नहीं. So the
Hmm.
idea is to convert my YouTube channel into a marketing funnel, which will eventually target tier 3 audience and help them scale. And whenever they, like I have shared this idea with Ramesh also and my
So
manager
see,
also.
again, even if you have the dumbest idea out there, an
Hmm.
MBA will help you figure out a feasibility check.
Got it.
ठीक है? I might just say that I want to create a chocolate dispenser for everyone in India. But is this idea feasible? Is this business model sustainable? ये सब I wouldn't know. If I think it works and I am surrounded by 4 friends who are saying this idea is great, I will invest in it. And then the idea will tank,
Got it.
right? So an MBA does help you get an understanding of whether whatever idea you have, is it feasible? Is the business model sustainable? All this you'll only learn after you do an MBA or during your journey, right? So it's a good idea to say. They will
Got it.
ask you a few questions. You can always say that I'm unsure if this is viable or not. But any idea you have, good or bad, yeah, trust me, I have seen here a lot of great ideas go down the drain, a lot of stupid ideas get funding. So
True.
it all depends. ठीक है.
Just
But yeah,
addressing one thing, मेरे chat में बहुत देर से चल रहा है वो. So there
okay.
is a guy named Akash. He just did a BTech and he has already been a consultant at McKinsey and now as a product manager at H&M, and he's saying, I want to go for an MBA. Can you guide me how to choose my majors? Am I confused about general MBA or a specialized MBA?
Okay,
Bhai,
so
he's
he's been
already
a
a
consultant at
consultant.
McKinsey.
Yeah, he has been a
No, no,
consultant at
that's fair.
McKinsey, and he has done. He's right now as a product manager in H&M, because I know this guy personally. I think he's joking around, but I don't feel like even MBA की जरूरत
It's
है अभी.
okay. No, I mean, see, again, even if the person is joking around, I know people here who have a similar profile and are here at IIM Ahmedabad.
Oh.
I'm very good friends with a person who has a profile like this. Not exactly McKinsey, but being a consultant, came to IIME. Depends on what you want out of this MBA. Yeah. Some people do an MBA to skip a position. Okay, you might be consultant one. Hypothetically speaking,
Hmm.
it will take you 6 years to become consultant three. But if you can do an MBA and leverage that to get an offer with your existing company for a consultant three, why won't you?
But do the curriculum came to any help to these people, because they are already a consultant?
Yeah, so
Uh,
consulting is has on a broader scale not much to do with an MBA. Okay,
okay.
MBA में you use things which you can use as a consultant, which anyways on the job he'll learn.
Hmm.
हो सकता है normally he'll take a week or a month to grasp a concept to a certain degree. An MBA graduate will get it in an instant. So it helps with client conversions. It helps with delivering value to your client. But ठीक है, like uh, whoever this person is, if like my answer to them would be very simple. Ki if you see MBA adding value to your profile, why not? He's saying he's been a consultant and then been a product manager. ठीक है, if there's a goal in his life he wants that an MBA can help, then why not?
मेरे को तो I even know his salary is, it's way above than our average IIM Ahmedabad का package. So
Yeah, that's okay.
so
Thank
Yash,
you.
coming to back to the why MBA. So if you want to make any changes to make it more refined answer, so what
Yeah,
will you suggest?
honestly speaking,
Hmm.
see, why MBA is a question which has to be extremely personal to you. ठीक है? You see on LinkedIn also, you just Google why MBA, you'll get like 10 different answers, but everyone would say that the answer has to be extremely personalized
Hmm.
because you should be able to back it up.
Got it.
ठीक है? ऐसे नहीं होना चाहिए कि देखो, may questioned you like twice on your answer and answer's crumbling. Because in a way, think of MBA as, I understand MBA, a lot of people come to learn, but a good chunk of people also come to sort of as a career factory. Let's just say you input students, you exit with a great job.
Yeah.
So any college would also look at how employable you will be after this MBA. Let's just say I'm a great guy, but I'm not, my skills are not employable at all in the Indian market. Doing an MBA will also put me in that unplaced category,
Hmm.
right? So college also looks at, to a certain way, I'm not saying this is the main criteria, but to a certain extent college also looks at how employable you are in the job market, right?
Got it.
So but yeah, see that this answer is good. Like again, like if share this with me, I'll show it to my friends here. If like people who have a similar profile as you,
Got it.
if they can suggest some edits, I'll like revert back to you.
So क्योंकि I was thinking कि for that you said ना कि bring your startup idea, and at the
Mhm.
same time I'm saying that I want to be at a marketing role at a FMCG brand. So doesn't
Yeah.
it
So
comes
see,
like clashing कि you have two goals at the same time?
no, not really. See, think of it this way. You could have an idea or a startup that you have wanted to scale. Doesn't mean you'll do it in the next 2 years.
Hmm.
A lot of people work for 10 years, then start their own company. If you look at any MBA grads ka, journey, there are a lot of consultants who work in the consulting industry for like 20 years. Then once they reach like a partner level or something, they leave consulting, start a venture of their own, right? So this thing will always happen. So it also depends on how you say it. Is that going to be a bread and butter job, or is it something you see in the long run that somewhere 20 years down the line I would want to have a company of my own, right? They ask you this 5 year goal, 10 year goal. Now, if your 20-year goal is to become a CEO, by all means, keep switching careers. If your 20-year goal is to have your own startup or a company, then obviously, but you still lack the skills. So you have to do a job somewhere to learn the skills, right?
Got it.
Hmm.
So taking to the next question, why our college? कि भाई हमारे
Okay.
कॉलेज में क्यों आना है? इस दुनिया में 100 कॉलेजेस हैं. Why our college? So this is
try
the
to
answer
find.
that I have created for SPGIMR. GIM wala to worked
Mhm.
very well, so I'm not touching on it. So this
ठीक
is
है.
for SPGN that I've created.
Think of what unique things separate that from other college, because you give a generic answer, their question will be, पर ये तो SBJN भी करता है, ये तो NMIMS भी करता है,
Hmm.
वहाँ क्यों नहीं जा रहे? And your answer can't be वहाँ की shortlist नहीं आई, right? So if you have applied to a college, unka expectation is that at least there's something in that college which attracted you to. हो सकता है you applied to all and only got this shortlist, ठीक है? That is a very different thing, but that's not what you can say to them, right? So
True.
think of whatever unique opportunities they can offer. For example, a lot of top shots which get अहमदाबाद का भी convert हो जाता है, बैंगलोर भी convert हो जाता है, and let's just say they choose Bangalore because Bangalore is a product management. Let's just say like Bangalore excels in product
Broadman.
opportunities. It's situated in Bangalore. It's a lot of tech exposure. So people chose IIM Bangalore. People who want to go to finance might take IIM Calcutta. People who want to go to HR might prefer Excel or IIM, right? So see what unique things it offers among its competitor pool, right? You so for example, every college has its competitors, okay, who are close competitors. There are college which the college considers beneath them, some are above them, ठीक है, ये हर बार होने वाला है,
Hmm.
ठीक है. तो think of उनके competitor pool में what they do differently.
Got it.
Now here I have a problem with your answer.
Hmm.
Application process is an entry to it. See,
Okay.
you don't go to a restaurant because उनका valet service बहुत अच्छा है. What they provide when you are inside the restaurant is what matters. ठीक है, you can always mention this, but I would suggest don't start with something like this,
Okay.
right? You like another thing is the holistic application process, right? I mean, again, like this could also work. I'm not saying don't do this. It
Hmm.
all depends on how you deliver it. Wait, let me read the whole answer first. Okay. Mm. So bringing up the alumni touch is good. Shows your seriousness in like getting admission there. Hmm. Sort of also mention how life there is,
Got
what
it.
opportunities a college like SPJIMR provides you. So, for example, if this, I am not aware, I'm like, apologies for that. I'm not aware of this college. Like, I'm not aware what it's famous for, but let's just say it's famous for providing consulting opportunities.
Got it.
Okay. Then
Hmm.
you can say that being a part of like SPJIMR presents me an opportunity to pursue this, which I'm looking forward to, right? The industrial exposure it provides, or हो सकता है teaching methodology. So you might be aware that IIM Ahmedabad uses case-based process.
Yeah.
Bangalore doesn't. So that's a
Oh,
differentiating factor. If you prefer case-based, you can say, ki, oh, you know what, I want to go to IIM Ahmedabad. If case-based is not your thing, you can always say, ki, one thing I liked about IIM Bangalore is they don't go with the case-based process. They have a innovative way of teaching. Masters Union has a very different model of teaching,
hmm.
right? So things like that. Could be partnerships, for example, exchange opportunities, right? I think IIM Calcutta has a lot of international certifications. If that is
Yeah,
something,
SPGN is also triple crowned.
exactly. See, now that is
Hmm.
something you can mention. That's a highlight, right?
Oh,
If SPGN provides you exchange opportunities with Europe, you can sort of bring towards the end of your answer that I have also come to realize that SPGN has exchange opportunities, which will provide me an international exposure, right? Things like this.
so this answer can be a part of it, but I have to incorporate whatever you have said.
Yeah, yeah. Oh,
Got it.
absolutely.
Got it.
ठीक है. This is very good that you showed initiative by talking to alums. ठीक है. Uh, see, now here is you have to go specific. So the
Hmm.
second point, the idea of being of part of a cohort that brings together people from diverse backgrounds, is true for most MBA colleges. We have something called diversity quotas and all.
Yeah.
So just to prevent, just to sort of inculcate better learnings, MBA colleges, all colleges try to have people from very different backgrounds. be it academics, be it work experience wise, right? So like I think IIT Bombay ka MBA college also removed the engineer rule this year,
Yeah, they removed the
right?
engineer rule and copied IIM Ahmedabad ka process, like
No, doesn't matter.
diversifying
All I'm
into.
saying is,
Huh.
huh, most colleges are going for a diversity. So this would be true for most colleges. Now try how you can make it particularly like how you can map it to SPGen. For example, SPJMR, if they have a good, let's just say male to female ratio,
Hmm.
hypothetically. So you can say that even though all colleges try that, one thing I love about SPJN is that their gender ratio is quite good, or their non-engineer ratio is quite good, which provides an opportunity for people like me to get a chance to understand how an MBA works there.
So the point, the idea of being a part of co-ed. So the diversity point I put it here was because SP Jain focus a lot on profile. Like if you are a national sports player, or like I got a call from SP Jain because not because of my CAT percentile. It's just 94. Otherwise, if you are not, I have a national bronze medal in hockey. That's why they called me. So वो diversity मेरे को यहाँ पे लानी थी. But I think it's coming on a दूसरे
No, no,
point.
no, it's good. See,
Hmm.
no, no, it's good. So you mentioned this excites me, and after excites me, and
Hmm.
SPJAN provides me XYZ, right? So make it
Okay.
personal. You write a general statement, that's okay. So, for example, if you are someone who believes truly in DEI initiatives,
Hmm.
diversity and inclusion initiatives, and which is why you want to go to a college which supports such initiatives, so mention that and then go into personalize that. And I am well aware that this college supports DI initiatives which further interested me in taking admission here. Start with something generic, get a little personal. See, everyone loves to hear unki tarif, theek hai? That is rule number one. So as long as you don't come up as someone who's just like mm, who is genuine, it's okay as long as you come off as someone who genuinely thinks this is true. Chaplusi karoge, if you try flattery, it won't work. If you say something like it's in the top NIRF ranking and I want to be a college in top NIRF ranking, then they'll obviously say कि अरे क्यों फिर
इतने
हम क्यों.
सारे हाँ.
हाँ exactly, इतने सारे हैं. 10 different rankings, 10 different colleges will come on top.
And what about this line? Additionally, seeing this an incredible opportunity to feature my peers on my YouTube channel, and this align with the SPJ and philosophy of contributing to society and adds
Yeah,
on.
yeah, that's a good thing.
ठीक.
See, हाँ ठीक है. See, I am asking you to put personal innuendos because that allows you to tailor your answer to why our college. If you don't have
Hmm.
personal, then they can say, "अरे नहीं, but our neighboring MBA college also offers this. वहाँ क्यों नहीं try किया?"
Got it.
At that moment, your only what do you say defense is you provide better packages, and that's not something you can say
True.
explicitly. So add something which differentiates that college. ठीक है?
I'm taking a question from a chat that says, "Do fresher get shortlist from top consulting firms? If I don't have spikes in my
Absolutely.
CV, profile 998 economics from SRCC."
Oh, wait. If this person's from SRCC, I'm sure they're already aware that their alums get placed in one of the best consulting firms out there. ठीक है. SRCC is famous for getting placed into best consulting firms, best fin firms. So if they're from SRCC, just look at your alums ka what do you see profile on LinkedIn and you'll understand. It's not all about spikes per se.
Being in
There is
SRCC is already a spike, I guess.
yeah, yeah, exactly. There's no rule that freshers don't get shortlist. Trust me, I know so many freshers have got shortlist in companies and I haven't got a shortlist. 998 is again great to have. I am not a 998 profile. I'm a 987 profile. Okay.
Hmm.
So you do get shortlists, right? Coming from SRCC, as Abhishek said, is a spike in itself. And if you have any doubt and if you are from SRCC, please reach out to your seniors. There are a lot of them in IIM A. There are a lot of them in top MBA schools across India. Trust me, they'll be able to give you a very personalized answer, right? And I hope this helps. I mean,
Hmm.
the best person to ask is your seniors. They're like ample of them here. But yeah, broadly, you as a fresher, yes, you do get shortlists. Uh, Spikes you'll definitely have. You might not think that what you did is a spike, but spikes can be created. Third thing is, what was the third thing they asked?
Do fresher get short
988.
listing? Yeah, 998.
998 is a great profile again. See, I know people go gaga over 999 profile, but when you look at it, there are only so many 999 profile people who are out there, and opportunities are more than number of students. So it's okay. 998 is also a great opportunity to have. I wish I was a 998 profile student.
Your is 997, na?
Mine is 98, almost 8. My CG
Oh,
was UG CG was 7.99.
oh.
I was not allowed to round it off.
Mine is 9.49, but eventually it boils down to 81 only because Sarkari University hai.
Yeah, yeah, I understand.
Okay. So next is a question which is somewhat asked. I have seen being asked ki why should we select you? What sets you apart? What are your strengths? So उसके
Mhm.
लिए this is the answer that I have framed.
Okay.
So what you see in a square pointer, it is a follow up कि अगर उन्होंने पूछा कि what valuable insight
Oh,
will you give
fair.
me?
See, here my understanding is what they're
Hmm.
trying to gauge from you is what are, like this question can also be framed as what are your strengths,
Yeah, yeah.
right? So the answer should be very personal to you. Okay, what you bring to the table, selecting you, what value does it add to their existing MBA cohort? See, for a person like me who has done his BTech, then worked in a tech company for 3 years, there are hundreds of people like me. If they reject me and select someone else, they
उनका
get
कुछ
the
नुकसान
same
नहीं
profile.
होता.
They get a BTech grad who has worked in tech industry, right? So now, what is it that separates me from hundreds of people who have done BTech plus tech work right?
Hmm.
So they what they want to understand here is, as a person, what sets you apart from the rest. Could be that you are a quick learner. Okay, I know very generic term. Could be that you adapt to tough situations easily. Okay, could be that. But uh, what I would suggest is, if there's a personal strength of yours that you want to highlight, right? Do that here.
So
Okay.
for strength के लिए मैंने एक अलग से आंसर लिखा है. I will go through that
Mhm.
once. So this was
Yeah. So you,
more specifically to unique things. So I have put in my work experience being in the comic industry, which is not very common in India market. And second, I have put content creation because I am coming with this thinking कि there are not many content creators who are coming for a full-fledged MBA.
okay, understood. But think of it this way: if the
Hmm.
question is why should we select you,
Hmm.
you have a niche work ex, yes. How does it add value to, let's just say, SPGen? You get it? So your
Hmm.
answer should also reflect that. What you could say is, my unique work ex in comic industry enables me to share valuable insights, yes. And I believe being a part of a college like this, I would be able to present diverse opinion or a contrasting opinion, which a lot of existing peers would not be able to, given I come from a very
Hmm.
niche background. So I'll be able to provide a different perspective, which would add value to the class discussion. Understand? So
Hmm.
most engineers on a topic would have a very tunneled view. 9 out of 10 people would say the same answer.
But my answer would
You
be
are
different.
Your answer would be different. That would, spark a debate. That would spark a discussion, which adds to the whole peer learning concept.
Hmm.
You could spin it off in a way that you have a unique work experience, so you bring in a unique perspective,
Got
right?
it. And same
That
can
is
be applied to content creation also.
correct.
Like
Yes,
I have in the last line I put it this key additionally I can leverage this experience in discussion groups in discussion during group based discussions and all.
this should be a highlight,
Hmm.
right? So you get it how I framed your answer.
Yeah,
It
I
should be
वो
like
थोड़ा
this.
ऊपर push लेके
हाँ,
आना है. Got it.
exactly.
So second is ये भी बहुत famous चल रहा है कि why should we not select you?
Yeah, I haven't seen this before, honestly. I
Yeah,
mean,
so
very, very good question to ask. And if
hmm.
I am asked, I don't know if I have an answer to this, but okay, let's go through yours. Okay.
So I spinned it off कि मेरे को पता है मेरी कमी क्या है but वो कमी मेरी MBA से ही दूर हो जाएगी.
Yeah, honestly, I'm sorry, I'm not able to add value to this. Give me
Hmm.
some time because I have not seen this question before. Okay. Could be a very common question, but I was not asked in my interviews so
Yeah.
far.
So this is
So I'll get
mostly
back to this.
asked in SPJ in group interviews where like there will be a situation ki reject yourself or reject someone from the panel or which of one of the panel which you select for the next round, because there is GI1 and GI2. So GI1 में इस तरह के
Mhm.
questions आते हैं. So that's why I have put it here.
Okay.
So I will
So
send you this
essentially,
across. तो
yeah, yeah. Essentially, they're trying to understand what your weaknesses are, what makes it
kind of.
difficult.
तो घुमा के दे दिया
But you
उन्होंने
could
बस.
sort of you could sort of spin it off this answer in terms of employability.
हम्म
I expect very certain things from MBA, and I would not settle for anything less than that. For example, if you're doing an MBA to pivot to marketing, so you could always say that a reason to not select me would be my wait like you're very persistent that you only want to do this, that you would not settle for anything less. And in MBA there are a lot of times where you have to settle for something less, settle for something different than what you
हम्म
originally aimed for, right? And that's not something that you would want to do, right? Second
हम्म.
thing, yeah, again it's uh tell us about your weakness pinned off in a very different way.
हाँ, tell us about it.
If you have, like, I know, very generic advice, if you have an answer to your weakness, put it in chat gpt, ask it to sort of reframe it for why should we not select you. I'm sure gpt these
GPT will
days is
do.
advanced enough to help you with this.
Yeah. डीप सीक भी आ गया अब तो.
Exactly.
डीप सीक. I was watching this only reinforcement learning and all.
Yeah, yeah, fair, fair.
Because
That's
I
important,
have seen
honestly.
कि SP जितने भी इंटरव्यू होते हैं इट्स इन अ मिक्स रूम की मार्केटिंग का बंदा देन फाइनेंस का देन इंफॉर्मेशन मैनेजमेंट का देन
Correct.
ऑपरेशंस का. So if I can add value in that group discussion, I guess I will outshine थोड़ा marketing वालों से.
Correct. So I'll give you a insight, ठीक है?
हम्म
मेरा इंटरव्यू जब हो रहा था, that is when the Silicon Valley Bank collapsed. It
हम्म
was a huge thing in the US.
हम्म
They asked me, what are my opinions on it? So now I worked for a bank, so I had some exposure to it. But someone like you, who has no relation with the banking industry, might not be able to answer that,
yeah
right? So if you are in touch with current affairs across the world, it gives you an edge,
true.
right?
मैंने तो थोड़ा एक स्टेप आगे चला गया. आई learned a little bit about reinforcement learning, non-supervised reinforcement learning and all.
देखो, be cautious. The moment you mention the word reinforced learning, they'll ask you. ठीक है?
इतना मतलब
So
आई कैन ऑलवेज से ना कि आई वाज जस्ट वाचिंग अ यूट्यूब वीडियो
हाँ
लाइक
हाँ,
इट्स माय
that's
हाँ.
okay.
हम्म
Always say that you are a beginner in this and then
या.
show off. ठीक है? कि I've just
So
recently started learning
whenever
about.
such type of questions come, like in my GIM ka interview, they asked me differentiation of X square. So
Okay,
it's been like 5-6 year I have read about differentiation and all.
correct.
So मेरे दिमाग में क्या आता कि ऊपर का स्क्वायर को नीचे लाना होता है. लाइक आई थिंक इन लॉग फॉर्म, बट आई वाज लकी कि 2x स्क्वायर का जो होता है 2x होता है, बट एक्स
2x
क्यूब
होता
का
है,
इज
right?
3x स्क्वायर, इट्स नॉट 3x.
Correct,
तो एक्स
correct.
क्यूब पूछता तो मेरा गलत होता, बट आई वाज लकी कि वो 2x था. तो आई सेड कि सर I can't remember calculus from my class 12th, but can I take a guess? So I guess that's how I toned myself down and take a guess, and it's come out to be correct.
Right, right.
Because I have seen being from an art background, they are little softer on you. As जितना भी मैंने transcripts and all पढ़े हैं, they don't go very harsh on your
Mm-hmm.
math and all. But basics आने is very important, like for your quadratic
Correct,
equation
correct.
and all. Little bit of differentiation हो गया तो अच्छा है.
Because see, even if you're from an arts background, first year में there will be math का
Math
subject.
question, yeah.
There will be subjects which you need maths for, right? Operations, most of the operation courses have a good chunk of mathematics involved. So they do expect you to know basics. तुम ऐसे नहीं बोल सकते कि मैं तो art student हूँ, I won't do maths,
My
right?
question was like this only: you are from arts background, how will you cope up with such rigorous math
So
of an
that is,
MBA?
yes,
So I give them the answer कि in my CAT I have scored decent percentile in my math. तो they were like कि math की quant math वो CAT की quant तो बहुत easy होती है, ये तो बहुत ही
correct.
different ball game है.
Oh,
Then I
as
introduced कि
someone
I
who,
am a science student, थोड़ा उन्हें tone down करने के लिए. So
correct, correct.
then he only asked me कि what math subjects do you know? So वहाँ पे मैंने अपने strong points बता दी, quadratic equation and all. He
Yeah,
asked me
usually,
quadratic equation graph and all. Then
graph. I was gonna say that only,
hmm,
that usually one of the most common mathematical question asked is,
graphs.
one is, as you said, graphs. Tell me how a graph of log x would look like, of x square would look like.
Hmm,
No basic graphs. Quadratic equations पूछ सकते हैं
roots
just to
पूछ
test.
लेंगे.
हाँ, exactly.
Roots, discriminant.
Yes.
Got it. ये सब तो जीके यार, ये सब तो मैं क्या ही दिखाऊं. दिस इज माय नेम का मीनिंग, योर सरनेम, योर एशियन
हाँ, fair,
रूट्स,
fair.
योर सिटी,
No, yeah, so city का पता करो. I messed up this
फाउंडेशन.
question.
हम्म.
I said I am from Amravati. They said what are historical importances of Amravati. I knew one, I didn't know another, which was
That only I have
Pakistan
wrote कि
History
नवाब
check.
ने बनाया था, and all I have put
हाँ
it
भाई
there.
भाई, I fumbled there and he was like तुम जिस शहर से वहाँ से पता भी होना चाहिए.
So अभी इशू क्या है ना कि my roots are from उत्तराखंड.
Hmm.
I lived in Uttar Pradesh. For my hockey, I was in Haryana and Haryana and I was in Haryana mostly. Then I shifted to Mumbai. So मेरे को सारे states के करने पड़ेंगे और my hometown and
Don't
currently I'm in
mention all of
Mumbai.
this, no. Don't mention all of this. See,
Okay.
the interviewer doesn't know you. The more information you give, the more
Hmm.
entry points you're telling them. Say you're from Uttar Pradesh. Or just if you don't want to lie, I wouldn't suggest that you lie. Okay?
Hmm.
All you can say is, I have lived most of my life in Uttar Pradesh,
Got it. So then they
which
will
is
ask only
true.
about Uttar Pradesh.
Yes.
स्टिल सेफ्टी
If
के
you
लिए मैंने
want to, why
यूके
not?
का सीएम वीएम याद कर लिया कि चलो बेसिक तो कर लेता हूँ, बिकॉज माय नेम इज
Fair,
तिवारी
fair.
ना, सो दे रिलेटेड विद बिहार और उत्तराखंड.
No, no, fair, fair.
Because SP Jain में they don't go into a lot of your GK, current affair and math. SP is looking more about your ethics, your situational answer, and why you want to do an MBA and why marketing. A lot of marketing questions. But for Excel, I am Shillong. I am expecting that they will ask a lot about GK and current affairs.
Fair, fair, yeah.
So also this is the question like they used to ask ki academics pe tell me your favorite subject. So I am going to answer social media marketing and video editing because in my
Okay.
mass media that was my favorite subject.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't expect ki my professor will know more about video editing and social media marketing. Like social media
Oh, no,
marketing
no,
I
no, no,
expect
no,
कि
no.
उस पे
See,
question आ सकते हैं, but video editing I don't feel like. So should I mention
yeah.
more general subject और मेरे ही जो सच्चाई बोल दूं मैं वहाँ पे?
No, see, always mention a subject which you are the most confident in.
Hmm.
You would expect these interviewers uh, have been doing these interviews for years.
Hmm.
Don't underestimate कि ये finance का professor है, wouldn't know operations.
Hmm.
These guys are crazy smart no matter which college they are from. They're professors for a reason. उनको पता नहीं
Hmm.
होगा, वो 5 मिनट तुमको pause करेंगे while other panel ask questions. They'll read up and then ask you. ठीक है? I was
Hmm.
asked which is my favorite subject. I said mobile communication, and my professor who took my interview belonged to the OB, like behavioral sciences background, let's just say, right? So mostly like HR. So all these. So I expected that, okay, you know what? If it's a mobile communication, I'll get easy questions. They asked
Hmm.
me the most technical mobile communication questions ever.
Because you
Because if
only
you're
said na कि
saying
it's my favorite, so they
exactly,
expect.
so and MBA profs are crazy smart. ठीक है, never underestimate a professor कि उनको नहीं पता होगा. They're crazy smart. So और उन्होंने a lot of these professors do consulting, so they are aware of like other industries as well.
Hmm.
भले ही professor strategy का है, but if he gave strategy to a telecom industry, he would have the basic knowledge of telecom.
True.
If he helped like improve profitability of a media industry, he would know about video editing. He or she,
Hmm.
sorry.
So right now my core job is social media and video editing only. So इसलिए मैंने ये रखे थे answer because रोज ही कर रहा हूँ मैं तो technically ये.
No, but whatever favorite subject you suggest, be ready to be asked tough questions on that.
Got it.
Because if you're not good at your favorite subjects, what does that say about you, right? वैसा वाला.
Hmm. So yeah, coming to the question of strength and weakness.
Mhm.
So this is these are the 3-4 point depending on ki question how much the interviewer is expecting me to give my strength and weakness. I have wrote down 3 or 4 for safety sake.
Okay.
So these are not framed answers. These are just keywords that I have put because right now what I am seeing in the market is they are not directly asking you what are your strength or weakness. They are saying ki if your boss has to give your introductions, what 3 strengths your boss will tell me or what 3 weakness your friend will tell me. So they are flipping a lot in question. They are not straight up asking why MBA or why 3 strength, 3 weakness or something like that. So that's why I
Got
put
it, got it.
pointers here.
That makes sense. See, adaptability, yes. Okay.
The third point I'm not going to talk about. ये थोड़ा मेरे को हटाना पड़ेगा because I don't want to bring कि I was a cricketer, then I shift to hockey, then he can ask cricket
See, bring
question.
a personal example. Adaptability, put on a professional stance where in Amar Chitra Katha, let's just say, for example, you majorly do content creation, but once you are asked to do supply chain or logistics and you
Hmm.
were able to effortlessly take care of it, it always helps to bring in personal examples. ठीक
Like
है?
I can
Which
talk about
back
how
your
I
strength.
helped marketing team in setting up their booth at Comic Con.
Exactly. Why? So your strength is something which you leverage. So
Hmm.
explain how you leverage that strength.
So like the second example, you can see where I wrote ki on a personal level, even in my personal, I have shifted 4 houses in Mumbai from a lavish house in Lokhandwala to one RK in Mada.
Yeah. So I would suggest don't explicitly mention it this way,
Okay.
right? Because yeah, people keep shifting. ठीक है? Now
Hmm.
you shifted for whatever XYZ reason.
Hmm.
Now let's just say something fortunate or unfortunate happens in somebody's life and they have to switch.
Hmm.
People's lifestyle changes. ठीक है? Everybody adapts. ठीक है?
Hmm.
If let's just say you live in a 2 BHK right now and you win a lottery tomorrow, you are going to buy a 4 BHK.
True.
People adapt, good or bad. ठीक है? So try to spin it off. Try asking GPT how you can mention this as a strength, right? But I wouldn't recommend answering it this way that
Got
I
it.
have shifted 4 houses and I have adapted to each setting. Good
Got
point to mention. The point is good, but just the framing,
got it. Got it.
right?
So next is entrepreneur mindset. Like how I have
Okay.
created my YouTube channel, जुगाड़ कर रहे हैं, खुद की रिंग लाइट बनाई है, खुद का लेवलियर माइक बनाया है, because resources नहीं थे.
Wait. Okay. Yeah, fair. This is good enough. Ki you have the zeal to. Could also mention the scaling part that I do see business opportunities. Say something like, ki, even while you work at Amar Chitrakatha, you often find yourself coming up with new ideas, right? Which
Hmm.
shows that you have and then you explore them in your free time, right? So you have mentioned that you have started this YouTube channel from scratch and experimented a lot. Try elaborating it more. How? Give examples,
Hmm.
right?
Got it. क्योंकि I was thinking कि during my CAT preparation I was juggling between three things, which is content creation and my work life and the of course CAT preparation. So I was thinking कि if I can bring this story in the question where they ask कि tell me something something about yourself which is not in your CV. So अगर मैं story डाल दूँ तो will it be fine?
You can, yeah. See, when
Hmm.
you explain strengths, you have to explain why. I can't just say that I am my strength is let's just say perfection without explaining how. Otherwise, it's just a keyword game. I can just search what are the 10 most acceptable strengths and say all 10 of them. You have to back it up with a personal example, a personal story, or if you don't have an example,
Hmm.
why you think that's your strength,
Got it.
where which situation you demonstrated that strength.
Anecdote देना ज़रूरी है.
Huh, correct.
Next is creativity. So I have creativity. I have to lot to speak on my ACK front, Tinkle front, on my self YouTube channel and 4 YouTube channel that I'm managing.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess that will be
Yeah, yeah.
fine. हाँ.
That is fair enough, really good enough for an answer.
So I am thinking कि adaptability को नीचे ले आऊँ क्या? Like start with entrepreneurial mindset, then creativity, then resilience.
Could be. See, again, the order depends on what you can talk the most about.
Hmm.
Okay. If you mention creativity first and you're not able to speak for more than 30 seconds on creativity, that shows a bad example. Your best strength is you're not able to back it up. So whatever you feel has the greatest, like best points out there, put that on top.
So 30 to 60 second is what we are aiming for in answers, for such
Right.
answers.
Fair enough.
अभी ये resilience में मेरे को थोड़ा doubt था. Talking about
Okay.
your financial overcome, talking about your confidence barrier. Like I completely lag in communication. I don't know a single word of English. I don't know how to talk to a person when I just shifted to Mumbai. But I have
Mhm.
in this 3 year journey, I have evolved myself.
Absolutely. No, you can. See, because when you work wherever, post
Hmm.
MBA, not in MBA, you'll always be thrown out of your comfort zone. You'll always be, let's just say you work as a developer and you think you only have to report to your manager, but one day the CEO calls you.
Hmm.
Yeah, correct. You have to talk to the CEO. You have to
Yeah.
explain to him. So you will always be put in uncomfortable situations. And if you can't adapt to it, see, this can also be spin off in the adaptability part, could also be spun off in determination, that I knew English is something of a weak zone, but I didn't want that to limit my opportunities here, right? Dedication हो सकता है, resilience हो सकता है, like, but that's a good point that you admit that there's some things that you are not good at, but you didn't leave it at that.
Hmm.
It's not like you are not good in English, so you're like, check it, I'm not going to learn English. I'm just going to find jobs which does not require English,
Got it.
right? So that's
Because
always good to know.
also if anyhow like जब इंटरव्यू देता हूँ, I don't know क्या होता है मेरे को, my English comes quite fluently. But even
Okay.
if they caught ki your communication is bad and they ask a question that your communication is bad, so I have backed up answer ki I know my communication is bad, but I have worked in a publishing industry and that too in Amar Chitrakatha for past 2 years, and I hadn't faced any problem because of my communication. And on top of that, I have cracked deal with international clients who have worked in USA, which was MN Microsoft, and I have also worked with Singapore team, which was Disney. So ये ज्यादा ऐसा तो नहीं लग रहा कि खुद को बढ़ा रहा हूँ मैं, या फिर दिस इज अ परफेक्ट एग्जाम्पल टू पुट देयर.
No, no, nothing like that. Yeah, see, as long as it's true, you can always do this.
ओके.
ठीक है?
सच तो है.
नहीं नहीं, fair, fair.
हाँ. बिकॉज मेरे को ना कभी कभी ऐसा लगता है कि लाइक इट्स ऑल्सो ऑन द डिलीवरी, आई फील कि कैसे आप डिलीवर कर रहे हो.
Correct, correct.
हाँ, तो उस पर थोड़ा बैलेंस करना पड़ेगा. गॉट इट. सो देयर इज अ क्वेश्चन इन द चैट व्हिच सेज कि हाय यश, out of the topic question, but do you have any idea on the demand of SAP consultants, SAP consultant? I,
Okay. Uh, wait, can you explain that question to me again?
yeah, he said ki do you have any idea on the demand of SAP consultants?
In MBA? Like, yeah, I
uh,
mean, like in MBA colleges is what I'm
yeah,
assuming,
me
right?
too.
See, again, what you are saying as a SAP consultant can be generalized more towards a technology consultant. Okay, I am a technology consultant. At Oracle, my designation was a tech consultant. So yeah, there is value. There are companies, all companies out there, consulting firms like PwC, Accenture, uh, Deloitte, KPMG, EY, all of these are exploring or like investing in tech opportunities. They're doing implementation projects, they're doing customization projects. So if you're a SAP consultant, which means I'm assuming you are someone who's an expert in implementing SAP solutions. ठीक है? You might not have SAP as a, let's just say, client company after here, but let's just say you're working for PwC and you are implementing solutions for Adobe. So your skill sets are like your skills are transferable. So definitely yes. And the fact that I made it to an MBA college with being a tech consultant should speak that there are opportunities for you as well.
Yeah. So this is the next question where I struggled the most. Three improvement
Abhishek,
area.
one thing.
हाँ.
Could we like split this into two things? Because I'm sorry, I have to rush off to a meeting now.
Works, no issues. कोई दिक्कत
So
नहीं है.
if you could like sort of break it into a two thing and like continue this tomorrow,
Yeah.
does
No
that work?
issues.
I'm sorry
हाँ.
if there are any pressing questions in the chat, we can take those because I'm assuming some people would be waiting.
Yeah, I have taken all the chat question. वो issue नहीं है, ज़्यादा
Acha,
नहीं
acha.
थे. I
No,
guess we
because
are.
I was not expecting an engagement and it just sort of happened that
हाँ. मेरे को भी नहीं पता
हमारे
था.
कॉलेजेस में कल कल से IIM अहमदाबाद में placements are starting,
Oh.
like the final placements. I am not sitting for them, but there's a friend who needs urgent help, and tomorrow is his interview, so
You
have to
got a
run there.
PPO क्या?
Yeah, so I'm
अरे वाह.
holding a PPO. Can't disclose the details now because of
But yeah.
PLISCOM guidelines, but yeah.
So this is out of, so PPO guys are not allowed, or you are
Oh
willingly
no,
not?
no, I am not sitting. I'm willingly
Okay.
not sitting. I'm
Got
happy
it.
with where I got a PPO from,
अरे वाह.
so which is why I'm not sitting.
So congratulations from the complete community.
Thank you, thank you.
Oh yeah. So yes, thank you so much for your time. We had a great
Yeah,
talk.
yeah. So
All the
sorry, I'm
things
cutting
I've
you off in
written in
between.
the diary, and Just
So
we'll
Abhishek,
make few
so sorry
changes.
I'm cutting you off in
It's okay.
between.
It's
Let's
okay.
definitely continue this tomorrow.
Yeah.
ठीक है?
Yeah.
चलो, bye bye.
Bye bye. Good night, Yash.
Good night.
So yeah, guys, काफी लंबा वीडियो हो गया. मैंने भी एक्सपेक्ट नहीं किया था. Thank you so much for everyone who joined. यश, आकाश. आकाश तो मजे ले रहा था. यश. यश कितने नाम के यश है. बट या वी हैड अ ग्रेट टाइम. बहुत सारे हमने आंसर समझे. एंड वी विल सी. एक सेकेंड. ठीक है भाई यार. आई गेस वी हैव कवर्ड अ लॉट इन दिस वीडियो. बहुत सारे क्वेश्चन आंसर कर लिए. टुमारो आई हैव अ मॉक इंटरव्यू एट टाइम. सो विश मी लक. सी यू ऑल सून इन द नेक्स्ट वीडियो और टुमारो लाइव स्ट्रीम जो भी होगा देख लेंगे. थैंक यू so much for tuning in. Bye bye, and yeah, we are ending the stream now.